That shooting in Pasco County after an argument over texting happened more than 4 years ago. Reporter Eric Waxler shows us a trial still seems a long time away.
Truthfully, I was shocked.
Widow Nicole Olson's attorney, TJ Grimaldi, says he can't believe a district court of appeals ruling. It says the revised stand your ground law can apply to the Curtis Reeves case.
I cannot fathom a world where it is okay to shoot someone at almost point blank range in the chest because they just threw popcorn at him.
The new ruling could mean a repeat of last year's lengthy stand your ground hearing.
You don't see your husband reach over towards Mr. Reeves?
No.
At any time?
No.
After 2 weeks of testimony that felt like a trial, a judge rejected the defense's claim stand your ground applied to the 2014 movie theater shooting. Retired police captain Curtis Reeves killed Chad Olson after an argument over Olson's texting during the previews. In the past, the defense had to prove stand your ground as a valid defense. Now, after the law change, the burden of proof is on the state. Nicole Olson is worried she'll have to go through another hearing before a trial ever begins.
That was her first question, actually. She's like, is there a chance that we're going to have to do this all over again? And I said, very likely, actually.
Grimaldi says they are still moving forward with a civil lawsuit against Cobb Theaters, its manager, and the property owner. Meanwhile, he says Olson has sleepless nights. Her daughter is now 6 and old enough to ask questions about what happened to her father.
Now she knows Daddy isn't there.
As far as what comes next, even those involved aren't sure, but the appeals process is far from over, and it's very unlikely this case will go to trial anytime this year. In Tampa, Eric Waxler, ABC Action News.
An important health alert now for anyone who depends on an EpiPen during a life-threatening allergy attack. The FDA says there is a shortage of emergency allergy medication because of manufacturing delays. The drug maker Mylan has already sent out alerts to all patients. It's still not clear how long the shortage could last. A Pinellas County child is safe after deputies found him wandering alone in just a dirty diaper. The woman who was supposed to be watching the 3-year-old child is now facing child neglect charges. Rebecca Evans says she might have fallen asleep. Authorities think the boy was wandering by himself for over 40 minutes before anyone found him. He was covered in dirt, but not injured.
Today marks 38 years since one of the Bay Area's most deadly disasters. On this day in 1980, a freighter ran into the old Skyway Bridge, causing part of the bridge to collapse into Tampa Bay. 35 people died when 7 vehicles and a Greyhound bus plunged into the water. There's a memorial in St. Petersburg now paying tribute to the victims.
President Trump's pick to lead the CIA is not apologizing for her role in the agency's former detention and interrogation program. But Gina Haspel said during her confirmation hearing today she won't restart it. She also faced questions from senators about her morals.
Senator, my moral compass is strong. I would not allow CIA to undertake activity that I thought was immoral, even if it was technically legal.
This question came up because President Trump has said he supports harsh interrogation tactics like waterboarding. But Haspel says she does not believe the president would ask her to do anything like that, and she does not believe torture works. Still ahead, gymnasium brawl. The people who raced into a Florida school to join in this massive fight and the concerning discovery that could lead to charges.
Speeding and illegal parking in a busy Tampa neighborhood, new at 5. The big changes neighbors are finally seeing after reaching out to us.
In Pasco County, deputies say someone entered an unlocked car and took the keys inside. They then used the garage door opener to get into the victim's house. Once inside the house, the suspect took the victim's wallet, purse, credit cards, and cash. And this is video of that credit card being used shortly after the burglary, although deputies can't say for sure if the person in this video is the same person who committed the burglary. Authorities in Jacksonville area say charges will be filed after this troubling video here surfaced of a fight at a high school this morning. We're told that fight started between 2 people at the high school and grew into a brawl with others running into the gym to join. The person who shot this video says some of the people fighting came from another school and one of their moms got involved. School staffers stopped the fight, but while they were searching the people involved, they also found a gun.
Every new mom wants what's best for their baby, and new research from the University of South Florida now finds one decision could lower childbirth risks for both mom and baby alike. A new study found moms who are induced at 39 weeks are less likely to deliver by C-section and are at a lower risk of serious other complications like preeclampsia. That's compared to moms taking the traditional watch and wait approach, which could cause a pregnancy to last up to 41 weeks.
Well, the ball is rolling on making a busy street in West Chase a little safer for kids playing outside.
Yeah, just last month, a little girl riding her bicycle on Royce Drive was hit by a car. Fortunately, she's now doing okay.
ABC Action News reporter Heather Lee is taking action for you. She shows us the changes neighbors started noticing right after reaching out to us.
Royce Drive isn't problem-free just yet, but Tina Hall says Hillsborough County officials are listening.
It was really nice to see the increased attention to the issue. I know that all the residents are greatly concerned about it, not just in our neighborhood, but throughout West Chase. We have a big problem with the speeding.
And illegal parking. Last month, a little girl was hit by a car while riding her bike. Hall fears other kids could get hit too.
My kids now are on bikes and scooters, so they're more concerning because, you know, they're traveling around the neighborhood and not a lot of people watching out for them.
Monday, Public Works reached out, telling Hall they've opened a service request with its traffic engineering department to begin looking into residential traffic calming measures.
We're like, oh, great, okay, yes. So it was really great to talk to him, and he was very helpful in explaining the process and very interested in my concerns and that kind of thing.
A speed hump like this one is what people are hoping slow people down.
Neighbors say they've seen the Hillsborough County Sheriff deputies patrolling out here more, ticketing and citing people for parking too close to stop signs.
They say that happened the day after our first story ran on April 24th.
We're all really having our fingers crossed that we get something to happen to calm down the traffic in this neighborhood.
Public Works says there are certain protocols it must follow before installing anything. Head to abcactionnews.com to get a breakdown of the process. In West Chase, Heather Lee, ABC Action News.
Well, an interesting trend coming to the attention of both parents and Google executives. They felt kids were becoming a little too bossy with their at-home assistant devices.
Yeah, so now Google is launching a new Pretty Please campaign. The Google device will now ask for the magic word when your kids give it a demand. And when your child asks nicely, the Google Home Assistant will respond by saying, "Thanks for saying please."
Good idea.
So Pretty Please, Dennis. Don't let it rain over Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, man, that's a pressure. I can't help you there. Saturday will be better the 2 days. I think on Mother's Day we're going to see rain. Now, it's not going to be a washout, but there's going to be some scattered showers, and I think they're going to continue right through the afternoon or evening. So,
I
guys,
said please.
Thank you for saying pretty please.
Yeah, you know, guys, let your wife sleep in. You know, I mean, enjoy the kind of cloudy weather. The beach actually right now looks picture perfect, right? I mean, it's sunny, temperatures are extremely warm, but we're dry. You look at Titan Doppler radar, the only thing out there, one little shower in northern Citrus County, almost the exact same setup as we had yesterday. A lot of heat, not a lot of humidity, and the air still moist enough near the water where there could be along that sea breeze an isolated shower, but there won't be many. Same thing again tomorrow and Friday as well for game one of the Bolts and the Caps. So if you look outside right now, look at these temperatures, upper 80s to lower 90s across the entire area. The dew point's still pretty comfortable. So whatever you have planned outdoors this evening, the weather will be extremely nice. A little breeze going too with Tampa right now, partly cloudy and 89 degrees, northeast winds at 9 miles an hour, just as warm in Clearwater, 89. Northwest winds at 12 miles an hour. St. Pete, actually, the winds are calm, surprisingly, with that sea breeze. Well, actually, I guess if you look at the temperatures, they're not getting that sea breeze in St. Pete because it is still every bit as warm as it is everywhere else at 88 degrees. There's a satellite with nothing more than a few clouds across Manatee and southern Hillsborough County, and that's it. Now, I do think each day, starting tomorrow, we're going to notice maybe just a few more clouds starting in the afternoon hours. The mornings will still be beautiful. It will be on Thursday morning, starting out mostly in the 60s to around 70 degrees. In the afternoon, you'll see an isolated area of cloud cover maybe up north and maybe 1 or 2 showers again. But notice in the evening, we start to see a few more clouds. And even on Friday, heading into the Mother's Day weekend, we start out beautiful. The afternoon hours start to notice just a few more clouds interior. It's kind of a sign of things to come. I think as we roll into the weekend, we're going to see winds coming in out of the southeast. That's going to give us warmer temperatures and higher humidity levels, and that means rain chances will be going up. So if you notice, you go through Friday, through Sunday morning, we're still mostly dry, although I still think there might be an isolated shower or two on Saturday afternoon. But watch on Mother's Day. From south to north, there it is. Now, looks kind of ominous, right? I mean, you look at this and you say, oh boy, an inch of rain in Lake Wales, an inch of rain in Sebring. Remember, we can get an inch of rain in 10 minutes in the Bay Area with our afternoon storms. So this is through Monday morning. I think the way you play Mother's Day, the first half of the day will be okay. The rain chances will be highest from south to north later on. So if you live anywhere north of I-4, your rain chances will be lower on Mother's Day than if you live south of I-4. And then that continues into Monday night, and even into Tuesday, where we will have a period of unsettled weather. So, I mean, bottom line in terms of overall temperatures, not a lot of change over the next couple of days. Tomorrow morning, waking up mostly in the comfortable mid-60s. Very nice start to your Thursday. The afternoon, we're right back up near 90 degrees. Same thing on Friday morning in the mid to upper 60s, maybe a touch warmer, and then look at the afternoon. Low 90s on Friday. So if you're going over to Amalie for game one or a watch party, or whatever you have planned on that Friday night, it is going to be extremely warm. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, mid-80s through the evening hours. Once we go to sunset, we'll be in the upper 70s and waking up mostly in the mid to upper 60s under partly cloudy skies. Here's Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast. So we're dry for the next few days. Saturday, I'm only throwing in a 20% chance of rain. There won't be a lot, and I think whatever's out there will be south of I-4. But the better chances, unfortunately, will be on Mother's Day and into next week as we get a lot more moisture to work with. So that means the mornings are usually dry, the afternoons and evening, kind of like in the middle of summer. That's when most of the storms will develop.
All right, thanks, Dan. Well, still ahead, it's an app that could save lives if the unimaginable happens. The invention inspired by the Stoneman Douglas shooting and the 2 ways it could help in an emergency.
And it enraged war heroes, a memorial to veterans torn down in front of their eyes. New at 6, the complete transformation since our story first aired.
New developments in the ongoing investigation into the University of Florida's controversial graduation ceremony. The school now saying they've placed a faculty member on paid administrative leave. This person right there, that marshal, who the school has yet to identify, grabbed and shoved about 30 minority students who were dancing on stage during Saturday's graduation ceremony. The school is now investigating the marshal's actions and its commencement policy. Well, some crazy video tonight out of Illinois. A gas station camera catches the moment an 11-year-old girl escapes a carjacking.
Yeah, police say that girl's dad was pumping gas when the suspect jumped in the front seat and then took off. Seconds later, you can see that girl jump from the moving car. Thankfully, she's okay. The suspect was caught about an hour later. Police say this is a great reminder to turn off your car when you pump your gas and take the keys with you.
Amazing that she's okay. And now here's Paul and Laura with a look at what they're working on for 5:30. Guys, take it away.
Thank you, guys. And coming up here next at 5:30, still ahead, making a school safer or keeping a community convenience. We'll tell you the reason that this road is dividing a community.
Plus, a local pastor's clever connection to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Next at 5:30, the inspiration behind his message.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Lakeland Toyota. Save more on I-4.
Live from the station taking action for you, this is ABC Action News.
Tonight, school scramble. Pinellas County Commissioners rejecting a new proposal to pay for more school resource officers. And now the district has just 7 weeks to add deputies at 31 schools.
And breaking tonight, a possible gator attack in Orlando. Right now, crews are searching a retention pond as a 15-year-old boy is now missing. A 911 caller saw the boy flailing his arms in the water.
And tonight you can pay your respects to Deputy Gentry. He was shot and killed while responding to a neighborhood dispute in Highlands County. That vigil 8 o'clock tonight at the Sebring High School football field. And first up here at 5:30 tonight, safety versus convenience. That conflict playing out right now in Sarasota.
Jake Peterson with a major security flaw at Sarasota High and why some say fixing it is just not worth it.
This public notice sign about closing School Avenue has caused mixed emotions.
What we want to do is to be able to control the perimeter of the campus of this school.
For years, School Avenue cut right through the middle of the school's campus. It's closed to cars during the school day, but not to pedestrians.
I tried to find other examples in the nation, and I was hard-pressed to come up with anything.
As you can see, this is far from a closed campus. Students can easily walk off, and visitors can easily walk on. We found 2 people walking through the campus with students nearby. Superintendent Todd Bowden says this change is overdue.
Things changed for our school district on February 14th. The incident in Parkland provided the urgency.
Consider me.
That's what resident Carmen Casares is telling school leaders. She doesn't have a car and uses the road as a cut-through to get to the store. She says she's always respectful of the students when she cuts through.
When they do ring the bell and they're crossing, I do stop because it's too much traffic. I'm afraid to get run over.
But school leaders worry not everyone is as harmless as Carmen.
Anything can be brought onto this campus without our knowledge, all sorts of things.
They eventually want to make this an enclosed campus starting next school year, forcing people like Casares to find a different way to get to the store.
In the era of safety and security, sometimes you have to give up on a personal level.
The city is holding a public meeting on the issue Monday night. Reporting in Sarasota, Jake Peterson, ABC Action News.
Now to Pasco County tonight, and allegations of pornographic material showing up on a school-issued iPad. And tonight, the parents of the River Ridge Middle School student, they're suing the school district there. They're claiming that the student was shown the material during school hours by older classmates. The family now seeking $15,000 in damages. Also in Pasco County tonight, deputies want to know if you can identify anyone in this group caught on camera stealing baby formula. 4 people walking right into the CVS at Bruce B. Downs and Wesley Chapel. Deputies say they stole 12 cans of baby formula.
Well, the serious rollover crash we told you about yesterday, you can kind of see some of those pictures from Action Air 1 there, is a good reminder to drivers to get your tires checked routinely. 3 people were ejected from that car and seriously hurt when the tire blew and the vehicle started rolling. ABC Action News reporter Andrea Lyon is taking action for you this afternoon, showing us what to look for and why some vehicles may not need a closer look.
Without warning, it can happen in an instant. A tire blowout on the interstate. In fact, each year, nearly 20,000 people are hurt nationwide where tire malfunctions were reported in the crash. This time it happened to be an SUV full of Central Florida passengers. 3 out of the 4 people in the group were tossed from the Ford Explorer that flipped multiple times on Interstate 75. In the crash report, troopers say a tire blowout was to blame. We checked, and the make and model of the SUV, which is a 1999 Ford Explorer, came back with more than 1,500 complaints. 15 different recalls were discovered, 3 of which were related to tires. The most alarming, this same type of vehicle was recalled for its powertrain. According to the National Highway Safety Administration, the powertrain allows the SUV to hit extreme speeds and could cause the tires to fail. We don't know yet what caused the tire in yesterday's crash to blow, but according to a Washington Post report, in Florida, the hotter temperatures make tire blowouts more common. So checking your tread is important, and it's simple. Use a penny, place it in between the grooves upside down, and if you can see Lincoln's entire head, it's time for new tires. Even if your tread is good, but your tires are more than 4 years old, look out for dry rot. Andrea Lyon, ABC Action News.
Good afternoon, everybody. Titan Doppler radar still looking at a couple of showers just north of Citrus County in Levy County around Cedar Key. Otherwise, we are dry and we are hot. Temperatures right now upper 80s to around 90 degrees. Although beautiful along the coast with that sea breeze working, 82 in Hudson, 82 in Clearwater, but 90 in Sarasota, 88 in Ellington, and 88 in Siesta Key. Highs today, hitting 91 in Tampa, didn't break a record, but we were awfully close. Hit 90 in Brooksville, 91 both in Sarasota and Venice, 88 in St. Pete, even 90 in our northern counties in Crystal River. So this evening, it'll be dry, it will be warm, but it will be beautiful. The breeze is comfortable. So as you see right on through 11 o'clock tonight, skies will be mostly clear. Temperatures at 7 o'clock, 85 degrees, partly cloudy, 80 degrees at 9 o'clock, still upper 70s at 11 o'clock. But what about your wake-up temperature? Check in with Greg.
Good evening, everybody. Our afternoons certainly have been hot, but at least the mornings have been very comfortable. And I think we've got another one coming up early Thursday morning. The air still relatively dry and with clear skies. We should easily be able to fall well down into the 60s east of I-75. Probably some upper and mid 50s returning to Citrus over towards Hernando County. Tampa in the upper 60s early Thursday morning, 6:30. Already at 71 by 8 o'clock, and another hot afternoon on Thursday. I've got your Thursday forecast hour by hour starting at 4:30 on Good Morning Tampa Bay.
Greg, thank you. Well, breaking news for you right now. 2 construction workers have fallen from an outdoor elevator at a luxury condo in Naples. Now, we're told they were on the side of the building when that lift collapsed, but there's still no word on why the lift collapsed. Initial reports from the scene suggest they were 70 feet in the air at the time. A photographer is only minutes away from that area. As soon as he gets there, we'll bring you live pictures from the scene as soon as we get them. Paul?
New developments tonight in the so-called Disney discrimination case. The lawyer for a group of former employees says that she's done fighting against the theme park giant. A group of former IT employees filed a state and federal lawsuit claiming that Disney fired and replaced them with new employees from overseas that they ended up having to train. The lawsuits have since all been dismissed, and although the group did have a chance to refile, they've decided now to drop the case, saying it's clear that the courts will allow, quote, discrimination to happen. And here's a heads up tonight. If you live near MacDill Air Force Base, don't be alarmed if you hear those loud planes flying overhead. The planes are in town for the Tampa Bay Air Fest. Most air traffic will be tomorrow from noon to 4. Air Fest is May 12th and 13th, and it's a completely free event.
Well, just into the newsroom tonight, I want you to remember that deadly biker brawl from a few years ago inside a Waco, Texas restaurant. Well, tonight, 3 people involved have now been indicted on murder charges. There's some video of that scene there. The indictment marks the first murder charges to be filed in the case. More than 20 other bikers were indicted on new charges ranging from rioting to tampering with evidence. Police arrested nearly 200 bikers following that shooting that left 9 people dead and 20 hurt. Investigators say the incident started because of the rivalry between 2 motorcycle clubs. An update for you tonight from the Temple Terrace Police Department in regards to the random act outside of an apartment complex earlier this week. Police now telling us that they have received a handful of tips, but none leading to an arrest. A woman says she was sexually assaulted by a group of people outside the Preserve Apartments Monday night. The victim described the primary suspect as a male, unknown age, race, or ethnicity, wearing a black tube-style mask with a white skull face. If you have any additional information, you're urged to call the Temple Terrace Police Department. Well, a traffic alert to tell you about tonight. If you drive the Veterans, you know there are still dozens of exits and toll plazas under construction right now. It's all part of a $380 million project to widen 11 miles of road and make improvements. Traffic anchor Lindsay Logue has details about a big closure tonight and how to get around it.
It's up drivers on the Veterans Expressway, the toll plaza, the whole thing at Hillsborough Avenue will be closed, only impacting northbound traffic. This is in effect overnight tonight, starting at 9 o'clock, and it should be reopened Thursday by 5 a.m. So how do you get around it? The detour here, Eisenhower Boulevard. There will be signs directing you around this closure and helping you to get back on the Veterans. The good news is it is only tonight. Traffic updates, by the way, you can get them all the time on our free mobile app.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. Well, if you've ever wondered what it's like to take a ride in a self-driving car, this is your week. Today through Friday, I should say, the Tampa Hillsborough Expressway Authority is giving free self-driving car demo rides. Paul, this is for you.
Yeah, it is.
It's on a closed portion of the Selman Expressway. Unfortunately, all the time slots are filled up now.
Come on.
You might get a glimpse of the demos, though, Paul.
Hey, as long as I can take the wheel at some point, I'm okay with it.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. See what you think about this one. Amazon's new doorbell camera company, they now have a new plan to fight crime. It's launching a social network called Neighbors, which will now allow people to share photos and videos from their cameras, so everyone's watching out for everyone else. A new report out today finding that the University of South Florida is among the country's best when it comes to helping lower income students. That's according to Third Way. It's a national think tank that's based in Washington. The new report looked at data from Pell Grants and federal financial aid, and it found that the 6-year graduation rate of Pell students at USF was 68%, and that's the 9th best in the nation. Still ahead tonight on ABC Action News, staying alive by staying informed. The new technology right in the palm of your hand that could save lives during an active shooting.
Plus, he's the local pastor behind these church signs supporting the Tampa Bay Lightning. But more than 70 signs later, how does he keep coming up with the clever messages?
And new tonight, more than 300 cats rescued from that Plant City farm, but now we're learning some of them are going right back to the person who authorities took them from. New at 6, the agreement that's letting it happen.
A consumer alert for you tonight. The CDC now reporting at least one person has gotten sick here in Florida in the E. coli outbreak linked to romaine lettuce. The agency says more than 149 cases have been reported in 29 states. The CDC warning everyone, do not eat the lettuce at all. The infected lettuce is traced to the growing region in Yuma, Arizona.
The Red Cross of Central Florida wants to keep you and your family safe the next time disaster strikes. Today, volunteers canvassing the Palmetto Beach neighborhood in Tampa, installing free smoke alarms and helping families create escape plans. Red Cross leaders say that fire deaths and injuries are completely preventable.
Since this program started in 2014 with the Red Cross, we've saved 416 lives. These are people that did not have working smoke alarms in their house, that once we installed it, their house later caught fire, and they got out and they are alive today because they heard that alarm go off that we installed.
There you go. Just got to be prepared. That's the thing. Well, today's event was the first of 14 across Central Florida as part of the nationwide Sound the Alarm movement.
Could a smartphone app be part of the solution to stopping gun violence in schools? 2 students in Ohio are giving it a try. The app is called iAlert. When opened, it shows a map of the school and the location of the user. Now, if a shooter enters the building, students and staff can notify others where the gunman is. The app also outlines the best escape route. The students have already successfully tested the app and plan to do so again before the school year is over. Well, it's known as one of the safest and most commonly used drugs in the world, but new research is showing marijuana can create dependency. According to a global drug survey, a large percentage of marijuana users report signs of dependency. Of all cannabis users, 20% showed substantial signs of dependence. Crystal meth was the drug most closely associated with dependence, with nearly 25% of users.
All right, Tampa Bay, let's go fishing. Get your reels and rods ready. 20 freshwater and 2 saltwater lakes are soon going to be open for shoreline fishing in St. Petersburg. They will open June 1st through Labor Day between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. A license is required at all freshwater lakes for everyone except kids 15 and under. Now, to find out which lakes are going to be open for shoreline fishing, it's all right there right now on the St. Pete Parks and Rec website. And new tonight, a judge just approving a permit to renourish the Lido Beach shoreline. The ruling is the result of an 18-month-long lawsuit filed by Siesta Key petitioners who are concerned about the environmental impact that renourishment project may have. The city, though, says work could begin as soon as this winter.
All right, it's a story 3 years in the making. The local church pastor behind these clever signs supporting the Tampa Bay Lightning in the postseason. But how did all of this start is the question. Where does he get the ideas for the more than 70 signs he's posted and the superstition behind it all?
Let's go Lightning! Let's go Lightning!
This is normal church behavior this time of year at Our Savior Lutheran Church in St. Pete. Assistant Pastor Tyler Moore often giving a Bible study lesson with a twist.
It's kind of become a running gag where in my sermons, I'll work in the Lightning some way, whether it be just a little reference to the score or something like that.
And his Bolts pride displayed on the church sign out front. It all started back in 2015 when the Bolts made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final, but came up short against the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, it's a tradition.
Being a Lightning fan, and I was kind of bored of seeing our sign just say Sunday worship times, I thought, well, let's go a little pizzazz. The very first sign was Jesus saves, Stamkos scores, go Bolts.
And you know how hockey is synonymous with that whole superstition thing, right?
I wouldn't say I'm superstitious, just a little stitious. Just a, religious, I can't do too much superstition. I put it up every game day morning, and then I post it on Twitter. Again, I try and do it during the 10 o'clock hour.
The Lightning have noticed, giving Rev Ty tickets to a few games. And while we're on the subject of that,
if anybody has any tickets that you're looking to get rid of, I wouldn't say no.
So more than 70 playoff signs later, here's the latest. Rev Ty says the ideas come from friends, his wife, and many are simply just signs from above.
Love it.
All right, so when you look at him, you know, how does he know how many letters go on the marquee? So he told our photographer today that he looks at his phone, he has that app, the Notes app. Yeah. He goes in there, that's how he types in the characters, and he knows how long the sign can be on each line.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
Hey, if we've got a pastor on our side, that's got to be worth something, right?
There you
Can't
go.
hurt, right?
You can't. Friday, puck drops at 8 o'clock right at Amalie Arena.